In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make a decorative coaster using plastic canvas. So this is going to be some really early sewing and embroidery skills kind of building project. So there's a few things you're going to need. First of all, you're going to need just one circle of plastic canvas, and that's located in the Fiber Arts Center. And you're going to want to get a small Ziploc bag, and you're going to write your name and your class code on it. You are going to then, at the end of class, no matter where you are in this project, if you've just started, if you're halfway done, everything that you're using, including your needle and your yarn, will go in the bag, and that bag is going to go in the box where we keep our modeling clay. So that's kind of our anchor activity box. That way, every time you finish a project, you go take this out and work on it. So once you have your plastic canvas, you just put your bag aside, keep it at your table so you can clean up really quickly, and you're going to want to get a small sewing needle. This is a plastic one, so it can't hurt you, and it has a nice big eye in it for adding the thread. Now, whenever we use Fiber Arts projects, we always want to start with the scrap box, okay? So these are the leftovers. Now for this particular project, the big chubby yarn is not going to be a great type of yarn to use because it's going to be very difficult to get through the little holes. So pick a piece of thinner yarn and just take however long of a piece there is there. Now if the piece is very, very long, you want to keep it about as long as the length of your arm or a little longer. So you can just kind of measure it from your elbow to your hand, and if it's significantly longer, like if it's like taller than you, then just cut it smaller. Now this part is going to be a little challenging for you. Just know it's going to take you quite a few tries, so don't get frustrated. You are going to make sure the end of the yarn is pretty much together, the little fibers. If it's not, just grab a pair of scissors and snip it so it's nice and fresh. Then you're going to hold it so that there's just a tiny bit of excess at the end of your thumbs. You don't want to have it like this because it's going to be very hard to control the end. So have it where it's just between your pointer finger and your thumb, and you're going to squeeze it and then push the end through and pull. Now, this looks very easy when I do it because I've been doing this for like 25 years. It's going to be a little bit more challenging when you do it. If you need to, you can also open up the eye of the needle a little to make it a bigger hole and then pull through. Now once you've done that, give yourself a little tail, and so that you don't have to continue to do that because it could fall off, you want to kind of knot the end. So you do almost like the first part of tying your shoes and pull. All right, now I'm going to start my next step, which is going to be to do a knot on the end. Now this might also be a little challenging for you. You wrap it around your finger, pinch, and go through the loop. Okay? I'm going to show you that one more time. Wrap it around your finger so it's a circle, pinch, bring this little tail through the circle, and pull. Now then, if you have an excess tail, you can snip it. This knot is going to anchor the thread so that when I pull it through the hole, it doesn't just slide through the back. So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to pull. Now you might have to give it a good tug on the middle ones because they're very tiny holes. I'm going to go all the way up. Then I'm going to find my next hole, so I'm going to travel in a clockwise motion. So if you think of a clock, if this is 12 o'clock, this is, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Or you could think that in terms of this is 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So I'm going to go to 3 o'clock, pull all the way through until it's at the end. You don't want to have any extra yarn hanging out on the front or the back. And then I'm going to go So I went through there. I'm going to go to the next one. Now when you're doing this, you're going to have to really focus because sometimes I see students accidentally go to the next row. You don't want to do that. You want to keep continuous, consistent stitches. So I'm going to pull. All right. Now I'm going to move into my next row. So you see how I did the middle? Now I'm into my next circle where these little kind of triangle holes are. I'm going to pull and out. So every time I go under, I put my needle in underneath and give it a good pull. Okay, and go through the hole. So this is a really good activity for building up your fine motor skills, which are going to help you to be a better artist with drawing, with clay, with fiber arts, with collage, with pretty much every type of art. And it's also a really good activity to help you with focus because you have to really pay attention to, making sure you're going in the right little hole in the plastic canvas. Now I'm going to continue this around and around and around, but at some point if I want to switch to another color, like if I want to make a pattern, so I could keep going until my green is done. Or let's say I did a few more rows and then I wanted to switch to red and I wanted to do red, green, I can do that as well. So if that's what you'd like to do, I'll show you how to end this off and then how to switch colors. So what I would do is I'm going to go through my last loop that I had. See how the needle is going through the back of the last loop? I'm pulling through. I pull, pull, pull until there's just a little loop left over. Then I put my needle through that loop. So you might have to watch this a few times while you do it and experiment. And then I give it a good pull. And that knots it. Then I can snip. And then what I'll do is I will just repeat the next step, or the first few steps where I threaded my needle, I knotted the end of it, and then I'm just going to start here with my red or whatever color you choose. So remember, this is a challenging activity. You might have to retry some of the steps several times, like threading the needle, knotting the end, knotting it off when you're done, but be persistent and don't get frustrated because this is definitely a really great skill to have. It's going to build up your sewing skills, your fine motor skills, and it's definitely going to be worth it for you to have those skills.